We're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Grace Sullivan Zirkle. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Director of New Student and Family Programs, which means it's my privilege to help onboard all of you students and get you ready for your first semester at Duke. I'm really excited to have you all here today for our Staying Well in Your First Year Part 2. If you tuned in earlier this summer, you know we did a deep dive with student health, talking about insurance, services, immunizations, and now we get to talk about the rest of our student health services and the way that we support your overall well-being, not just in your first year, but throughout your whole time at Duke. So we're excited that you're here. Before I hand things off to my campus partners in DuWell, CAPS, DukeReach, in some moments from Duke Rec and PE, we're going to go over a few housekeeping items. If you've been here before, these are familiar, but we'd ask that throughout the presentation, if you have questions, if you can put them below in the Q&A, that would be wonderful. After our presentation, we will open up the webinar to questions from you all and try to answer as many as we can. Sometimes we will share that live and ask for a live answer from our panelists. Other times we might type you an answer directly to you. So look out for either of those. We have disabled chat. Again, with enough people on this webinar, it's easiest if you send us comments and questions and thoughts through the Q&A. And then we are recording this webinar. So if you can't remember that piece of wisdom that someone shared, you'll be able to revisit it later. And I also like to say always a hello to those people that are watching in the future, because I know that some people are only able to watch these recordings later. So with that, I am going to hand things over to Libby Skiles, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Grace. Grateful to be here with all of you. My name is Libby Skiles. I'm the Assistant Vice President of Student Wellbeing. So here at Duke, that means that I work closely with our counseling and psychological services team, student health, insurance teams, and our DuWell health promotion and education teams, as well as a lot of collaboration with other partners who you'll get to hear from today. So just briefly before we get started, I just want to take a moment to really emphasize for you all how much we focus on well-being here at Duke. It's such an important part of your ability to be successful as a student and to navigate and make the most of this experience here at the university in a handful of weeks. We're so excited to see you in Durham. But there's so many people who are involved in that process. There's so many things that well-being can mean. There's so many partners who are here to support you with that. You're going to hear from a few of them today, largely kind of that right side of the equation with the group that focuses a little bit more on mental, emotional, physical, and psychological well-being. A little bit about rec and physical education today as well. But there's so many other partners, your resident assistant, your EXO leader, student involvement and leadership and clubs and orgs and the identity and culture centers, your academic dean, and your faculty. So many people who are invested in you and want you to be successful at Duke and are here to support your well-being. So as you navigate these next 4 years, please reach out, look for these experiences. We hope you take advantage of many of the things that we're going to share today. And all of us are here at any time to help support you in really creating that system and the most healthy, well, optimal experience at Duke as you can. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our counseling and psychological services team, Dr. Nadia Damani-Koja. And we will go to the next slide. There we go.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, good morning, whichever time zone you're in. My name is Nadia Damani-Koja. I am a licensed psychologist. I'm also the director of counseling and psychological services. Next slide. So this is the outside of our beautiful building. We are located on the third floor of the Student Wellness Center. And like Dr. Skiles said, we really are, we try to provide a wraparound services. So the first floor is pharmacy, second floor is student health, third floor is counseling and psychological services. Next slide, please. And these are just a few of the rooms. I always like to share these so that you have an idea of like when I walk in into the waiting area, this is what's going to look like. This is our wellness room. The one on the top left is one of our group rooms where we hold our group therapy services. And then the bottom right is a typical office that you might encounter when you visit us. Next. Can you click one more time? There you go. So Duke is an amazing place, right? With amazing support. It's also very fast paced for students. It's very intense academically, right? So I always try to highlight these top stressors that we see at CAPS. And so social anxiety being the top stressors for our students, generalized anxiety, which kind of, it's all around anxiety that really affects your functionality. Sometimes your eating and sleeping and all that. So it's like constant worry is what generalized anxiety is. And then academic distress, of course, this is intense studies, right? But also very high quality education, the reason why you are joining us. And then depression and relationship, family stress, of course, those are a little bit further away, but the top three for the last several years are these. So we pay extra attention to that and build like support system around that. Next slide, please. And so one of the things, people always ask us as clinicians or, the workshops that we do, is like, how do you recognize the stress for yourself, for your peers, for your floor mates, even for your faculty, right? So I usually briefly talk about this, that there are certain areas where you're like, yeah, this, I'm not able to attend classes. I missed my midterms. I'm missing my finals. So academic performance is very easy for everybody to catch, within a certain time. But then there are certain things that we're like, I'm not sure what's happening, right? So think about noticeable changing, like anytime your eating, sleeping goes erratic, right? So physical changes in your weight because of that, your emotional regulation is not quite where you want it to be. Sometimes when you're not eating and sleeping enough, it may turn into some thinking patterns that are just like you're not making the right decisions, right? So those are all the ones that are very easy to miss. And so at Counseling Center, we make sure that we're always assessing for these things because we don't want you to get into the safety risk area, which is where we don't want any of our students to be. And if you are, we talk it through and we help you out. Next slide, please. So when you think of your time at Duke, our goal really is to have you in the right to continue in the columns, right? We want you to thrive. We want you to be to feel the joy of being at Duke, teach you how to do solution focus stuff, fully realizing your potential for why you are here at Duke, right? So you're performing, you're calm, you're able to regulate yourself emotionally, you're sleeping well, you have access to whatever you need, right? And the further out you go towards the left, the more I think campus partners work together so well at Duke. I've been at other institutions, and I think Duke student affairs teams are just so amazing at catching all these, talking to each other, because our goal really is to help you achieve what you're here to achieve, which is to finish your studies, go live your life outside. And in doing so, Counseling Center really tries to focus on your cognitive, your emotional, your psychological, your well-being, and your safety. And in doing so, next slide, please. We have a range of services that we provide at Duke. We have great clinicians here, mostly generalists, which means that whatever walks in, into our doors, we're able to handle that presenting concerns, right? The way to connect with us is, first step is to contact us. You can call us at that number, or you can visit us on the third floor of the Student Wellness Center. We're open from 8 to 5, right? Second step is to really identify, to tell us what you need, right? Because we have a range of services, and I'm going to briefly talk about it in the next slide, but tell us what you need. We have the same day urgent services. You don't need appointment for that. You can just walk in. Or you say, hey, I just moved from Texas and I need to transfer my care. I need to transfer my prescription, and we will help you with that. Or you say, I know what I need. I just need help with finding an off-campus provider. We can get you that. Next slide. So this is just a little bit of more what I just said. We have the same day crisis support. We have an after hours line. So let's say if you need support at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. over the weekend, over the holidays, that number, if you press 2, you get live clinicians. So we're always available for you. We have ongoing therapy and counseling services. We have psychiatry services. We have something called single session, which is really for our students who are like, I don't need ongoing. I have this issue that I need to, solve right now. Next slide, please. And then, we have gender violence intervention, we have group therapy, we have outreach and education, which is really coming to your community, wherever your dorms are, wherever your classrooms are, where your faculty is. We come and we really talk about a specialized issue like procrastination. I want to learn more about that, how to not do that, ADHD, any neurodivergent issues. Next slide. And then I already talked about it. It's the same number, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. After hours, you press 2. Next slide. And we have something called timely care services. All our registered students have access to CAPS for free for all the services with the health fee paid. You also have timely care services. You get about 12 sessions per year. And they also have a thing called Talk Now, which is a non-clinical chat feature that they have, which is also available internationally. So it's really amazing service that we have contracted with. Timely care clinical services are available throughout the US. Next slide. And then I just throw this in so that you are aware the campus resources, the local resources in Durham, and then the national mental health resources if you need more than what we are able to provide. Next slide. And then we all love the QR code, so we always have this slide for students. Next slide. And with that, I will pass it on to Dr. Justin Sharp.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Damani Koja. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Duke. You will be on our campus in a few short weeks. I've been watching the new student family program Instagram over the last couple of days and cannot believe that we're already less than 30 days to Duke. My name is Justin. I serve as the Senior Associate Dean of Students in the Dean of Students office, and primary portfolio includes student support services. And one of those departments and offices that I'm highlighting today is DukeReach, and you'll see me jump back on here in a little bit as I'm filling in for our Duke Recreation and Physical Education colleagues. But one of the things that I'll share, if we can start my slides, is DukeReach your front door to Duke? You've already started to realize over these transition series that we've put forth over the last couple of weeks that Duke has a ton of resources. And obviously that's going to be a really great thing, but it can also be something that can be hard to navigate or hard to know where exactly you should start. But that's where the Office of DukeReach comes in. So if you think about this particular department as your front door to student support, if you're not sure who to call, what office can help, or even what kind of support you actually need, you can start with us. Our job is to help you to navigate the university and connect you with people and resources that can help you move forward. So what does that support actually look like? So the next step that you're about to embark on in the next couple of weeks, move-in day will be here before you know it. And you're starting to already see that this exciting journey is full of varying transitions. So there may be times where you have a personal, academic, financial, or family challenge that begins to affect your experience while you're a student. And I know that this transition series is in for your first year, but think about this of your entire duration that you're here at Duke. From matriculation to graduation is your entire experience. So if that happens, I want you to reach out. You don't have to have everything figured out before asking for help. We can help you guide through that, but we also want you to look out for one another. You've already come to find out through Instagram groups or Snapchat groups that there's a lot of individuals that are embarking on this journey with you, and I think Sarah will talk about here as well, being an active bystander. So if you're concerned about a roommate, a teammate, or a friend, just because something just doesn't seem right, we highly encourage you to submit a DukeReach or a care referral, so we can check in with individuals. So you're not only helping yourself to know what resources and support exist for you, but looking out for one another as well as a community that cares for one another. So once that happens, we'd much rather check in with a student early than wait till that challenge becomes a crisis, like Dr. Damani Koja just mentioned, kind of being preventative, proactive, and putting in support systems in place before crisis sets in. So whether you're reaching out for yourself or someone else, DukeReach will help connect the students with the right support that they need. So one of the reasons that this works in particular is because the support at Duke is not limited to just one office, as you've seen here. So one of the things that I'm most proud of at Duke is that we have a community that pays attention to everyone. Faculties, advisors, residents, life staff, your RAs that you're getting ready to embark on a relationship with. Some of you may be athletes and your coaches, classmates in your classes that you've registered for or about to register for, and other campus partners all play a role in looking out for students. So sometimes we hear from a professor who's noticed a change in attendance. Sometimes it's a roommate who's worried. Sometimes it's another student who simply says, this doesn't seem like them based on the interactions that we've had over the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months. So when concerns are shared with DukeReach, we reach out, and our goal isn't to it's not getting you in trouble. It's not calling one out, but it's being there to make sure that you know someone noticed, someone cares, and support is going to be available. But ultimately, we'll hope that you remember one simple message. And if we can go 2 slides now. One more. Thank you. That reaching out is a strength. So over your entire journey in your high school career, you've probably had a lot of support with counselors or teachers, professors, instructors, all kind of wrap around. We want you to know that exists here as well. Though you are transitioning and many of you are coming in as an 18-year-old adult, still reach out. Support is still there. Asking for help is one of the strongest things that you can do. And you'll see very soon that learning happens both inside and outside the classroom. And that includes leaning in and asking for help when you need it. So whether you have a question, you're facing a challenge, or you're worried about someone, just know that DukeReach is going to be here to help. And if you don't remember anything from these last 4 slides, just let it be that you don't have to know the answer. You just have to remember DukeReach. So that's my cheesy little tagline that I'll leave you with before I toss it back or toss it to Sarah, and we'll help you find the next step. But look forward to seeing you on campus very soon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sharp. Love the tagline. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Campbell, and I'm the Associate Director for DuWell, and we are the Health Education and Promotion Unit within the Student Wellness Center. And I'm really excited to be here today to talk to you about student well-being and to be part of that team that is helping you as you navigate your transition to Duke. This is like one of my favorite times of the year, welcoming our new first year and transfer students to campus. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about the programs that we offer and some of the ways that you can get involved on campus. Next slide. All right, so my colleagues and I are really passionate about student well-being and the ways that we can support you, just as Dr. Sharp said, not to think of it as just your first year, but from your first year all the way out through your time here at Duke. And so when you think about student well-being, we approach that from a preventative framework. We use a preventative lens. And what that means is someone said earlier, not rate, we don't wait for people to raise their hand. In my office, our goal is not to wait for something to go wrong, right? We want to give students the tools and the skills and the experiences that they need to take care of themselves from the start. We've actually already done that. So about almost a week ago, you should have received in your email an outreach from us to complete your required wellness module. So make sure you start to do that if you haven't already. But in that, you're going to explore the 6 dimensions of wellness that we use here at Duke. You're going to reflect on your strengths and think about areas that you might want to grow in. You'll create a personal wellness plan and set some goals for yourself so that you can walk into Duke with a little bit more intention about how you want to nurture your well-being. And so that module is a way that we start to engage with you from the very beginning. We look at well-being as holistic. So not just physical health, but really providing education to students about managing stress, building community, navigating social life, having healthy relationships, and making informed, safe choices that feel right for you. And so I've included some photos here of some of the ways that we deliver those skills and experiences to students. And these are just the tip of the iceberg on the programs that we offer. But you can see some events in here. Students are learning how to create a culture of care through bystander intervention. We do multiple workshops throughout the year about that. Some are having fun through play. Others are building aromatherapy kits for their rooms. So everything that we do is about making sure that students have not only the education, but also the access to the knowledge and experiences that make it possible for them to thrive during their time here. Next slide. So we're going to talk about some of our programs you can experience while you're here. We offer a variety of programs. These are weekly programs that are intentionally a mix of those low-key events, smaller events, and then higher scale unique experiences. I thought I'd put an example on here of one of our new programs that we did this year.
Oh, that was amazing. I've never experienced anything like this before. It was my first time trying an event like this, and I feel very relaxed.
100%. Please do it. It's such an amazing experience. I really enjoyed it, and now I feel rejuvenated to keep studying.
And you see the reference to Duke groups on here. You can find out about a lot of these events on Duke groups and also in our newsletter. But that was an example of one of those unique experiential programs that we offer. And that was a sound bath. Not everyone has done that. So it was a really fun program. We did some other programs. I put some pictures on here as well. We did a plant workshop where students could learn about taking care of plants and connecting that to taking care of yourself. Glow in the dark yoga, puppy yoga, our open house, which we will invite you to, where we let you see all of the programming that we have. We also have smaller events. These are called moments of mindfulness. So things like paint night, craft night, yoga, just so many different ways to get involved. And you'll have plenty of opportunity to engage in those programs once you get here. Next slide. So I know I've talked a lot about our programs and our programming and really see this as a way for students to build connection, which we know is really important. So we have a lot of different workshops that help you navigate your time here. And not only does that build peer connection, but we also have peer educators that provide or put on a lot of this programming. And so we find that when we can give students different ways to de-stress and connect with other people, but really that peer involvement with our interns, those people collaborate with student organizations, work with people in our residence halls and other campus partners. And that really helps solidify or create that culture of care where, like Dr. Sharp said, we take care of each other, we take care of ourselves, and that's just embedded into campus life. I also want to point out that we make sure that we support students where they are. So if we have students who are in recovery, we offer spaces to connect and support them in that. And if someone needs additional help, we can refer out to our campus partner like CAPS or in the community. All right, next up. All right, a couple of last two slides are about an app that we offer, and then something that you'll get literally in your hands when you step onto campus. So Schmoody is an app that launched last year, and this is free for Duke students. And so I put a QR code on here. If you want to scan that, it will direct you to download the app. You're going to register with your Duke email address. And so Schmoody is an app that supports student well-being. It offers things like mood tracking, so you can log your daily moods and also the contributing factors for those moods. And it allows you to track that over time and gives you really good insight into that. It allows you to create daily action plans. So these are very customizable wellness action steps that you may want to take throughout the week. It invites you to explore joy and working on ways to schedule those into your week. So things that bring you joy, hobbies, whatever it is that you discover that you might want to program regularly to support your well-being. There's also self-assessment for different wellness areas in the life wheel. There's relaxation tools. There's meditation, different sounds, or there's even like stories that you can put on to unwind at night. I use that actually with my kiddo, and it's really super cool. So Schmoody is a wonderful app. I encourage you to download it. I will also show you the QR code again when we are in orientation, when we meet during EXO week. But that is free and available for you now to go ahead and download. Next slide. Last but not least, the Duke Blueprint. So you will get this when you move on campus. And this is a planner. Think of it kind of like a coach, right? So this is something that you're going to have in hand that is a planner for goal setting, time management, self-reflection. It really encourages you to plan, to put time into developing the things that you're interested in developing. And I've included some screenshots on here, or screen grabs of some of the pages that are in there. So every week you have calendar that you can fill out. You have different activities that you can work on. There's reflection pages, wellness routines. And so that is going to be a great resource. I'm going to go through and do it this year along with your class. And so we're really excited to give that to you and hope that you will take advantage of everything that has to offer you. At the end of the day, like I said, everything that we do is about helping you feel supported, have accesses to experiences that are going to support your well-being. And we are so excited to welcome you in less than 30 days.
All right, so I'm going to jump back on and fill in for our colleagues over at DukeReach and physical education. In one of Sarah's first couple of slides, you saw the tree graphic there, and the mind-body connection is one of the 6 dimensions of wellness that we oversee in this area of campus, is one that promotes that. So if we can go to the next slide, we'll go through, and can we go, let's hit 2 more. Let's go 1 more. Perfect. All right. So one of those things is actually physical spaces. So if you haven't had the opportunity to visit our campus in Durham just yet, you'll come to find out that we have 2 facilities on campus, one on West Campus, which is Wilson Recreation Center. You can see all of the activities in the facilities and interactive spaces that you have with there, from weight room, functional training, all the way to a 25-yard competition pool. Climbing wall also exists in Wilson. And again, this one is on the West Campus. The one on East Campus is called Brody. For your first year, obviously, you know that's where you're going to live starting in August. And you have the opportunity to visit this particular space actually on move-in day. So you'll start to get more emails through new student family programs in the coming weeks. But This will be your hub where you're picking up some items from campus partners, computers. You'll meet your XO programs in this space. So it'll give you an opportunity to already see where does this live on East Campus, being in the Brody Recreation Center. So they also have a pool, 25-yard swimming area in this space, weight room, cardio machines, basketball, tennis. There's some really awesome pickleball courts. I know it's you either love it or you hate it right now. Parents, family are probably highly involved. I see so many people out there on the tennis courts and the pickleball courts, especially when it's not hot. So again, keeping up with that mind-body connection, knowing that what Dr. Damani Koja mentioned a little bit ago in a first couple of her slides, we know that stress and anxiety are the couple of things that impact academic performance at Duke. And many of you, as you have transitioned yourself through high school, physical activity, sports may have been your outlet to help you manage stress and reduce anxiety, and this provides the space to be able to do it. Many of you may have been a part of sports or club teams at the high school level, and you're looking to expand upon that or get involved newly at the university level. So Duke Recreation and Physical Education is our university entity that allows and kind of houses club sports, but also intramurals as well. So you can get plugged into a team if you're looking to play club volleyball, club pickleball, club soccer, club rugby. There's opportunities for you to get kind of in structured format there, or intramurals as a group of friends, as a block, as a quad. That'll connect to our Quad X and our Quad Cup in that space there as well. Duke Rec also houses our physical education classes. So you have the opportunity to continue with some credit-bearing classes, credit-bearing course loads throughout your entire 4 years while you're here in undergrad, to make sure that you're embedding that particular piece into your schedule as a way, again, to manage stress, reduce anxiety through that mind-body connection. All right. One thing, if it's not been shared in any of the webinars before, you know that orientation is not just a week, but it is your entire fall semester. You are orienting and transitioning over to Duke. And with Duke Rec and physical education, there will be a wellness week. And they wanted us to make sure that we're highlighting Thursday, September 17th. It'll be a campus-wide party on Kville. Lots of giveaways, lots of swag, so you can kind of see and get involved with everything that they've got going on as their orientation to their specific spaces. So make sure you save the date for that, and you'll get information as we're leading up into September, but it will be here before we know it. They also have an app, as does most departments on campus. So if you're looking at trying to figure out what classes they've got, they put all of their schedules up here on this app, so you can see when is Pilates happening, when is yoga happening. I think this is still in the app, but like, what does Wilson look like right now? What does Brody look like right now? If I walk into this space, am I going to get a treadmill? So I think they're still tracking that. Don't hold me to it. That was something we were piloting a couple of years ago that was highly beneficial. So you could look at the peak times and be able to get in and get a spot, knowing that that's how they use the data to make sure that they've got the enough equipment for everyone. But scan that QR code, find it on the Google Play or the App Store.
All right. Thank you so much to our panelists. This is the time, if you are listening in and you have questions, to submit them. We can talk more about any of the services or opportunities that were provided. Again, that sort of whole body, mind, body, ways that we can support you at Duke in being well and transitioning well. So if you have questions, if you could submit them, this is the opportunity to ask them. There is one question. I love this question because it's a basics for taking care of yourself. I'm gonna let anyone who wants answer it. Are there grass areas that are available for students to use outside of sports teams on campus for sports, right? The pickup, cricket, frisbee, soccer. I just want to go release some energy with my friends.
Short answer, yes. If you again have not been to Duke, you'll find out we are a university in a forest that has a quite a few grassy quads. One being right outside of your residence halls, either on kind of the main East Campus circle behind GA. So yes, there's some places that you can just do pickup, but they also have intramural fields that you can reserve as a student as well to host pickup games. But a lot of that's going to be right outside of your room.
And I will add, I know we may have some transfer students on, same thing on West Campus, right? Right outside of the residence halls. It is the first beautiful day every spring, right? The last ones in the fall. All of those quads are full. Not that you can't add another person, but there are always people out enjoying some recreation and pickup.
It always blows my mind as soon as that first day happens, how many spike ball sets actually reside on this campus until they all come out.
And Justin, do you maybe want to talk a little bit about the garden
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the time people spend there when we're talking about
absolutely.
outside green space?
Absolutely. So Duke Gardens is connected right to West Campus. It is a beautiful space. I want to say it's 200 acres. Maybe I think it's 200 something. There's a lot of acres, but it provides you the opportunity to see some world-class just landscape design, get connected to nature. There's some beautiful waterfalls, ponds. We know that again with that mind-body connection, our bodies being what 98% water, and being close to that and the vibrations from the water. I'm pulling back my DuWell days from some of this. But being in nature, being in that space, there's a large, just kind of open space and open place for you to take a picnic blanket, lay down next to a koi pond, watch some fish, eat some food. It's unprogrammable, and it's just a nice space, and it doesn't feel like you are in the middle of campus. It's kind of remarkable the way that the design has been intentionally played out to where you're immersed in that particular experience.
I love this question again. What is your best advice about taking care of ourselves in our first months at Duke in a new school, a new social environment? Maybe we can get a few people to answer.
I can kind of start us off yeah, okay. One thing that we'll talk about in the wellness part when we meet during orientation is I always encourage students to, when students come in, there's always this, I've got to do this and this and this and this, and I have, school and class and extracurriculars. And I always kind of say, pause, you can take out that blueprint and build in, before you stack the whole book full of everything to do, build in time for joy, time for rest and recharge. Because we see it that, when things start to pick up, because it's not like you're going to have projects day one, maybe, I don't know, some classes might, but if you can get into that cadence in the very beginning of identifying places on campus to recharge, identifying different programs that you might find interesting. Like I mentioned, those moments of mindfulness programs, we intentionally build those out so that the same program, so let's say Monday's craft, these are not the real schedule, but Monday's craft, Tuesday's paint, Wednesday's yoga, that if you like yoga, you can go ahead and put on your calendar day one during XO week, Thursday night, here's what I'm going to do. And it doesn't mean that you have to be perfect and attend every single one, but it means that you know where you can go if you need that. You've already built it in so that you can program things around that. So that would be one of my biggest. Protect your sleep and make sure that you're getting adequate sleep. And navigating the social environment, we have a lot of education and resources to navigate social life in college. And that's from your, residence hall, your RAs and your RCs who are going to give education on that. Our office does, the GBEO office. Pretty much everyone is going to provide some sort of program or education about navigating these very new experiences that you're going to have, and just know that you're not alone. That there are so many people to support you. There's so many ways to get connected, and really just like lean into prioritizing that and yourself, and then you will make space and time for everything else as well.
Can I jump in and add that I love that, Sarah? That's really good advice. Yes, pay attention to your basic needs, sleep and eat and rest. And I would also say that have a mind frame of prevention, right? So don't wait until it's so bad that you have to go to CAPS, right? So attend our outreach events that we do, attend the DuWell events, right? But also figure out what you need, right? You're first time away from home, from everything that you know. You're trying to familiarize yourself with the campus life. It's okay to also slow down and pick and choose on what fills your cup, right? So have that preventative flair in your head and slow down and then figure out, okay, this is the club I want to join. This is the therapy services I want. This is, I love yoga. I'm going to do that. So give yourself some time to slow down, to breathe, to regulate yourself in this new environment. And we're all here to support you in doing that.
I want to tag on a little bit more to that. That's where that wellness module is a really cool opportunity to do that intentional design, to think about your goals, not just the academic goals, but really what are the things that I need, and what are the things that I know will bring me joy. But that wellness module will give you that opportunity to really engage in that intentional planning.
Libby, you want to go?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I don't like giving people advice because when you give people advice, they typically turn up their nose. That's not going to work for me. But what I can share, I like to tell how I've navigated, and I haven't been in a Duke student shoes, but I have been a student myself many years ago at this point. But I would say something that resonated with me, and what I've seen throughout my 9 years at Duke and working with a variety of different students is, um, think about for yourself right now. How many of you, when you got that admissions letter from Duke, that you were like, Duke made a mistake for a split second? Know that you are here for a reason, that Duke admitted you for a reason, and lead with that. Once you step onto East Campus, once you step onto West Campus, feel your feet hit the ground as soon as you get out of the car with your parents, your family, the Uber driver, whomever has brought you, and just take a look around and embrace it, and have that grounding aspect. And I would challenge you to do that. Maybe a challenge is to find those mindful moments, that just puts it into perspective that you are here right now in a few short days.
I think the last thing that I would add is we all, Nadia talked about, Dr. Tamani and Coach have talked about filling our cup. We all fill our cup differently. For some of us, things that would drain me fill Justin's cup and energize him, right? Time with lots of people is a booster for some, and for others, they need to step away and have a moment for recharge. And even Grace has worked with her team for like our EXO and our orientation programs to make sure that we're creating balance and opportunity for people to refuel and be able to sustain through the many things that each day will bring. My best advice would be keep that time blocked in, because if you don't schedule it for yourself, if you don't make sure you're setting aside time for whatever those things are, it gets hard to protect it and protect your peace, if you will, when you've got as many opportunities in front of you as Justin was mentioning, and the many things you want to do.
I think this question feeds in well. Do you have any advice or resources for people with general stress for the future? people who carry a lot of anxiety for them, or just not knowing, right? I'm starting at a new school, and so who knows what the next 4 years look like, and then maybe even after.
Dr. Damani Koja, you want to throw in on that one?
Yeah, sure. Um, I would say that it is very normal, right, for students and humans in general to feel stressed about future, especially now with the AI and things changing and the curriculum that is so demanding and rigorous, and it's very normal to feel that way, right? I would say that, like I said before, start early. As soon as you get here, right, schedule an appointment with us. We have excellent clinicians, so you don't need to have a presenting concern that is affecting your functionality. You can just come and you can say, this is who I am, this is how I cope, this is my coping skills, these are my worries, this is the historical fact, this is who I am, help me, right? And so we work very closely with our learning center, for example, with Justin's office, with Sarah's office. We know the structure that would work for you, right? And our clinicians are amazing, so they will provide the right support for you, right? Someone who may want to join a group for mindfulness at counseling center, right? Someone who, like me, I was a non-traditional student with a lot of stigma about mental health, and I was like, I don't want to do anything with the counseling. That's okay too. That's the whole reason we have DuWell, right? Where you can go and fill your cup the way that makes sense to you, right? We have services called Let's Talk, which is more like a consultation with a clinician. So it's not therapy, right? If that works for you, let's strategize. Let's figure out how to reduce your generalized, worry about here and now and future, and create a roadmap for you where we're your safety net, so to speak, as you're moving through multiple pieces over here and really help you really stabilize and really have a good roadmap for you for the next 4 or 5 or however many years you are with us. So that would be my advice. Just figure out what is helpful to you, what has worked in the past, where do you want to go, how do you want to look back at these 4 years that you will have with us, and then help us create and craft a program that is unique to you.
Amazing. Thanks. All right, nuts and bolts, but critical one. Is there an additional cost to use rec facilities as a student?
No additional cost. You've already paid for it with a Duke Rec and physical education fee. So it's billed already. You're paying for it. Use it.
Awesome. At this moment, we have no more questions in the chat, or the Q&A. So I'm going to take this moment to say thank you so much to our panelists for your time today, but also all the preparation you're doing to welcome our incoming class. So I'm grateful for your time and your energy. I also want to thank all of our students who are listening today, whether you're first year transfer, thanks for tuning in. And this is the first step, right? Attending today is one step in getting to think about and be proactive in your wellness and your transition to your time here. So you will see many of these faces on campus. Sarah mentioned, right, you're going to see her during orientation. No matter who you are, you will see her. I hope that you will run into these friendly faces and introduce yourself and say hi and let anyone know if we can help you in your transition and taking care of yourself. So with that, we'll say have a great evening or morning or wherever you are. Enjoy the day. And thanks so much.